Hello, everyone, and welcome to part two of our Executive Leadership Masterclass organized by the Career 360 team, led by the visionary leader, Mary Jane. All right. And if you're just joining part two, please, I encourage you to go feast on part one because we dropped some good gems that you would need as foundation so that this would be a build on. But I believe that so far you're being blessed. So far, you're gaining wisdom that will help you to accelerate and navigate your path in the corporate space, in the leadership space. Sometimes you hear about leadership, how people, you see women or men that you admire, and you're wondering how they have literally metamorphosed into the leaders that they have become, making so much impact, understanding the business language, and making great strides with their career. All right. And I can almost guarantee you that it is possible. It is possible. It's something that you ought to be taught. And once you take it seriously, once you make applications with it, you then begin to see results in your life. So again, as you sit with this part two, this model, I want you to know that this is a compounded wisdom from 2 decades of experience in the corporate space, all right, spanning local and multinational organizations. And so this is a rare privilege for you, a rare privilege for you. And I want you to take pragmatic steps to go and work with the insights you're receiving, the knowledge you're receiving, the wisdom that you're gleaning today. So that it's not because you need to process the knowledge and then begin to apply them. That's where the wisdom is. That's where the results are. So from today, we want to see new changes. That's why I'm making it as practicable as possible. I'm giving you applications that you can immediately begin to use. So I'll go straight into the slide, and then I want you to start taking copious notes. Copious notes. All right, let's do that now. Sharing my screen. I'm hoping that you're able to see it. Excellent. Yeah, good for my screen. Okay. So if you recall, just to do a recap of part one, which I encourage you as much as possible to go sit with, we talked about the ISW growth blueprint, the ISW growth blueprint. And we said you are an asset. And so treat yourself, carry yourself as such in the organization. That shouldn't give you a sense of pride, but that should fix your identity. It lets everything that you produce, how you walk, how you carry yourself, how you work, your output be birthed from that inner identity that I am an asset in the organization, in the business, in the ministry, everywhere that you find yourself, even in school. In leadership, if you're in school and you are in SRC or any form of leadership, you are an asset and you need to dissipate some of your goodness, your genius into the space to reshape it. The organization must be better because you're there. Customers must come in more because you're there. Growth must be seen because you're there. Profitability must be increased because you're there. Sustainability must be seen and felt even more. People should be awakened in a sense of heightened responsibility towards a sustainable business practice because you're there. Profitability should increase because you're there. You should gain more, or your business should be able to retain more customers because you're there. Ultimately, contributing to the overall business objective of the organization in which you work. The next thing I want us to talk about are the pillars. After the ISW growth blueprint that I've shared with you with the three quotes, identity, service, wisdom, I want to share the next pillar with you. Now, what are these pillars? You know how buildings are built, they have pillars that anchor them, they hold it together. And these are values, these are belief systems that you ought to carry with you. You ought to carry with you. You need to work with them. You need to make practical applications of them into your life. You beyond a sense of recognition, a sense of knowing, or a sense of awareness, you must know this. Literally to say, if you don't know this, you won't grow through your organization. If you don't know these, so it means you cannot be ignorant of what I'm about to show you. If you intend to grow or climb, whichever way you see it, if you are ignorant about the things I'm about to unveil, the insights I'm about to share, you cannot grow in your organization. You'll be frustrated, you would be resentful, you won't give off your best, you won't feel like waking up every day to work because you have no sense of meaning in what you're doing. It's just the salary for you. And if it's just the salary for you, over time, you will lose every sense of meaning and you won't feel fulfilled at all. And if you have that posture, it does not matter where you work, you will still carry it on to the next. So you realize that you are the constant denominator. Yes, you will be the constant denominator. It's not organizations that you work with that have issues or issues, but you are the constant in this. So these are things you've got to know, you've got to fix, you've got to keep as a creed for yourself as an individual. You know, we've talked about self mastery. You cannot forget these things, or you will lose every sense of meaning, regardless of which organization you work with. And growth would be far from you. It would be an enemy. You would see others rise and you will be so resentful, agitated, unhappy, emotional. You would even go into a mental relapse. It's possible. So I want you to take this seriously. Now, the first pillar we're going to look at is your ability to clarify your purpose. Your ability to clarify your purpose. So you must know why you are there. And I've said that because you're an asset, we laid that foundation with the growth blueprint, that because you're an asset, you have been deployed. You have not just been employed. I want you to write that in the comment section, that I am an asset and I have been deployed. I have not just been employed. I have been deployed. And when we say you've been deployed, it means deployment happens, there is a higher authority or a higher transcendence that only has the capacity, the authority, the ability to deploy another. By all means, the less is blessed of the greater. So someone greater must have deployed you. And when you are deployed, there is a jurisdiction within which you are deployed, and there is a mandate and a task you ought to go and carry out. You are literally an ambassador of God, an ambassador of Allah. If you are a Muslim or whatever you hold dear to you, know that you have been deployed into a certain business, into a certain organization to bring taste as salt, to bring light or illumination, direction, focus, strategy, because you are light and you are the salt. We've mentioned that you need to give taste to an organization or a business which is a soup or a stew. Currently may have salt, but not enough for the required taste. That's why they brought you in. That's why God must have deployed you into that organization. I want you to have this orientation. It changes everything. That you are deployed, you are not employed. Give me 1 second. Thank you for your patience. And just to wrap up from what I just said, is having an orientation that you are deployed, not employed. I need you to reshape, rethink how you see leadership, how you see growth in an organization. You are an asset created by God, except that you have latent potentials, abilities, skills, talents that are in latent form, waiting to be refined for optimal value. And every time you go into an organization or you're working for an institution or a business, or even as an entrepreneur, you need to understand that you have been deployed by a higher authority to bring taste as salt. You know, we mentioned that you are the salt of this world, and salt's agenda is to bring taste, ultimate value into a dish, a soup, a stew, a meal. Somebody will say, is that to say that the organization is incomplete without me? No, but it could be that they have salt already in the soup. Have you ever made soup and realized that, okay, even though you put in salt, it's not enough for the kind of results that you want, the kind of taste that you want? Yes. So God in his wisdom, or there'll be some CEO, a business owner, a shareholder sitting somewhere praying to God that can you bring someone into the organization who helps us become XYZ. There is a business objective, which is we need to increase profitability. We need to work on sustainability. We need to increase the bottom line. There is a bottom line because businesses operate for several objectives. All right. So, whatever the corporate or the bigger overall business objective is, your job is to make a contribution in your department, in your small corner, to the overall business objective of the organization in which you work. So, as an asset, if you carry yourself as an asset, you must know why you are there. And when that happens, you turn purpose into stewardship. Purpose into stewardship. All right. Let me give you an example. Say, for example, a safety officer. Okay. A safety officer, all they know is, well, here, before you go into the plant or before you go into the brewery, maybe you work for a brewery company. Before you go into the brewery space, you must have XYZ on or undertake these safety protocols, calculate risk, what are the possible ramifications, how do we mitigate these risks, XYZ. Now, the officer may have the knowledge on what to do. But if they do not have an understanding or a purposeful understanding of the why they do what they do, or the purposeful understanding of the why he ought to do what he ought to do as a customer service officer, he won't be able to steward it well to deliver the outcomes that he needs. It will just be business as usual. So he will be an employer, not a steward. I want you to get the difference. Oh, yeah, I need you to get the difference between being a steward and an employer. A steward is someone you've been handed something critical or important to, and you will give an account of it. So it's like the parable of the talents. You've been given talents to trade with in somebody's organization. Somebody's taking a risk on you. Every time you're working for somebody, understand that this is a shareholder who could have used their monies to buy Domedo or Chibum or whatever, but decided to take a chance on you by creating a business so that you can work in to refine your talents, your giftings, and abilities that I said were laying in potent form. You make mistakes on their job, you become better on their job. Your godly duty is to steward the business. So back to the illustration I was making about the customer service officer or the safety officer. Once they understand that their job is to protect, ultimately, all these measures they put in place, the safety protocols, you can't do this, you can't move here. It is to safeguard the people or safeguard another colleague or employer or a contractor or somebody on site from harm, from possible death or casualty, so they can go back home to their families safe. How does that make you feel? To think that, oh, that little job I do in my corner is how a colleague of mine or somebody's father or mother is kept safe until they go back to meet their family. So, but for the job I do as a safety officer, a mother could die, a father could die while on their job, and a child or children or family could lose, a child could lose their mother or father because I ignored or I did my job haphazardly. Doesn't that give you a better sense of meaning? See how you're contributing literally in that small officer role to saving a family or saving a child from becoming an orphan because you were stewarding your job well as a safety protocol officer in that brewery where you work. Tell me this does not give you a sense of meaning. Yes, it does. Tell me in the comment section. So it means you've got to identify why you're there and relate your business or relate your job, your daily task, the daily things that you do to a higher transcending purpose. Does that help you? Let me try to. So I put in a real story here. So a graduate intern who is at a logistics firm initially felt invincible doing routine reports. One day, she asked her manager a simple question: why does this company exist? The answer: it is to make supply chains more ethical and sustainable. This changed everything for the lady. She began thinking her daily reports and linking them to the firm's ethical impact. Look at that. Look at that. You are a national service person and you were able to identify by speaking to your team, by researching, by asking the right questions. Why do we exist as a company? And you have been told the underlying vision, ultimate vision of the company. Sometimes it is written all over. I need you to now take the vision of the company and go sit with it to say, how is this linked to the little job that I do, to the little task in my own small corner? The task I do in my own small corner, the day-to-day task, how does it link ultimately to the main vision of the organization, of the overall business organization? I hope that helps. Yeah. Now we'll move into pillar 2, which is now you have to master your crafts. Okay. After you've been able to link purpose to stewardship, so you link the task, the daily things that you do to purpose, the organization's main purpose, ultimate purpose, which can be found in the mission and vision of the organization. And if you can't find it, ask them. No business exists for nothing. They exist to carry out something. They have an ultimate business vision. That's how you think strategic. That's how leaders think beyond. I'm told to run photocopies, so I'm running photocopy. The photocopy you're running, how does it help to reach there? Now let's move into pillar 2. And pillar 2 now is to say, master your craft. So let excellence announce you. That's what we're saying. That let excellence announce you. Skill is loudest in any room. Look, you have to identify your core skill. So depending on where you are in your business, you need to know what are the top 10 skill I need to stay relevant in my industry in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years. You know, tech is evolving every now and then. Every field is evolving. So you can't be complacent and say, I am the best. You could be the best today. In the next 6 months, literally, or 1 year, somebody could be the best. So it means you have to stay continuously in a posture that you have to learn, continuous learning, always learn. You would say, okay, I have a PhD now. Even if you have a PhD, there's something we call CPD for your profession. New trends are happening. You need market insight, business insights, where the world is going, world insight. If you, even in Africa, even worse, because you need some insight from the global space, and also some insight for your African space. And then you have to drill down to how that impacts on your organization or the business that you're working in. Do you understand? So that you can begin to now align. If there are new technical competence you need to build, you can upskill yourself, right? And then the third pillar is to expand your influence. I keep saying this, you can lead without titles. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. It is a posture you take where it is, somebody just walks into your department. Let me give you a scenario. I'll be as practicable as possible. Somebody walks into your department and you are about a team of, say, 12 or 4. And there is this particular person, it's not like they're sitting in the middle. All of you are officers, but somebody walks in and they need help. And they are so quick to help. They're like, oh, okay, how may I help you? It's just a posture they have. They are not looking for favors or anything, but it is an attitude they have. Yeah, maybe that should be the word. It's an attitude of service. And you can see one other two in the same department who would say, oh, who are you looking for? They are not there. And that's it. And then they turn back working. They won't ask, oh, is this something you need in the department? Is it something you need from my boss? Can I help? Can I take a number? Can I have them call you back? Those are leadership traits. You are leading without a title. Service is what leadership is about. That's what Jesus came to do. Jesus, who was the greatest leader of all, took his disciples into a room during the Passover and was washing their feet. Feet in Israel at the time was the most dirtiest of places because they used their feet to walk. I mean, you can't even compare then and now because clearly I don't think they have planes and all of that. So they were doing a lot of walking miles here and there. Imagine how dirty those feet were. Jesus and the disciples, who should be washing whose feet? But it was Jesus who was washing their feet. Peter didn't understand. He said, look, this is the kingdom way. The kingdom way is that the leaders serve their people. They can't be served. So you can have posture and attitudes, characteristics, traits that depict leadership even without a title. And that's influence. So I want to charge you that from this meeting next week, as you go to the office or as you begin your journey in the career space, I want you to volunteer small leadership roles. For example, even in a project, a community project, take it up. How can I help? It's not to show off, but how can I serve? They need a spoon. How can I bring it? How can I do this? How can I? Let the how can I spirit be with you. Let's be baptized in it, be immersed in it. You can practice micro leadership. Show up early, stay dependable, communicate clearly, and celebrate others publicly. Give them credits for what they've done. But you also need to heighten your discernment and observation so that you can read the room and know when to speak. All of that is important. Okay. Then you align with the mission. I think I've spoken about this already. Okay, I've spoken about this already. You study the vision of the business and then you reframe your role by asking yourself, how does what I do advance this mission? And then you connect yourself daily to the task of the organization. And then you speak the language of the Chaldeans. There is a language that is spoken in Egypt. There is a language that is spoken, it's called the commercial language. Okay. There is a commercial language that has to be spoken. There is a language that is spoken in your industry. Learn it. Learn it. Do you see? There is a language that is spoken in the boardroom. In the boardroom, it's more strategic. It's not operational. There are tactical operations and there is strategic. You need to learn it. You ought to learn it. Get a coach if you need to. Get a mentor. I cannot overemphasize this. Get a career mentor. Don't just jump into a career sponsor immediately. What you would need for starters would be a career mentor because you've got to be groomed until you get to a place where you will need a sponsor, and that would be for high strategic ladders. If you intend to, when you're beginning to discern that there is time, it's time to climb the ladder. You will need sponsors. Okay, crusaders, those who believe in you, who can put your work in front of rooms, in rooms that matter that you cannot be. Okay, yeah, you need all of that. And then I think after you've aligned that, then that should be it. The last thing is I gave you, this is the growth flow. The summary of everything we've discussed is that your roadmap to transformation leadership, your roadmap to transformational leadership is to clarify your purpose, find direction through identity because you're an asset, understand that, and know why you're there, that you're deployed. You are not just employed. Then you master your craft. Mastery, 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 mastery. I cannot overemphasize that. Be distinct through excellence. Let your skill become your loudest introduction. Don't seek attention unnecessarily. Let your skills speak. Put it before the people that matter in humility, not in their faces, in humility. That takes another wisdom and another level of discernment because you've got to make them see your work. Somebody has to see your work. So take records. If your boss recommends you, keep a file, keep a journal of it because during evaluation, performance evaluation, you have to pull them out. Okay, because usually by the time it's performance evaluation period, you must have forgotten and all of that. So keep a file where all of the well done, the thumbs up, the accolades that you're receiving, the recognitions, you are filing them so that on a day that you feel you want to request or make request for an adjustment or a raise or a climb, you have traces, you have evidence, you have proof of work. You understand? You have proof of work. You've demonstrated value, compounded value over time. It makes the decision to push or make you climb a whole lot easier. All right. And then you definitely, that's what I said, that you expand your influence. That's what we've talked about. Is build visibility through service, and then you lead before you have the title. Lead before you have the title. So if you're an officer now, what is the next role you aspire to have? Let's say you want to move into a supervision role. Even though you're an officer now, you need to clearly understand what supervisors do and behave like a supervisor, not through demonstrating authority but through service. Do you understand? Demonstrate or behave, work like the next role you want through service. So if you're an officer now, we know you can do that already. That's fine. So while you are doing it, all right, begin to work like a supervisor. Do you get what I mean? The Lord will give you understanding. The Holy Spirit will breathe on you some more. Yeah. So behave, work like the supervisor before the title comes. Do you understand? Yeah. Work for the next role, work into the next role before the title comes. Work into the next role before the title comes. I want you to write that down in the comment section or in your journal. I will work like I'm in the next role already. I will work from today. I will give of my best. I will demonstrate value. I will serve my organization like I am already in the next role, right? Even before the title comes. And then you always align it with the overall business mission. So these are the 4 strategic growth roadmap that you're going to need. Clarify purpose, mastery, build mastery, and expand influence through service and visibility, align it to the overall business objective. I hope this has been a blessing to you. So what I said in my final thoughts would be that you should grow through because it is greater than growth up. Okay, grow through, then you grow up. Do you understand? Grow through, yeah, build skills, build competence, build mastery, build on your soft skills, be emotionally intelligent, build strategic thinking, all of the necessary skills, the top 5 skills you need for your field and industry. Yes, the top 5 skills you need for your industry. What would be the top 5 skills I will need in my industry to become XYZ and begin to build them for yourself privately? Eventually, it will show on the job. So grow through, grow breadth, grow roots, grow depths before you shoot up. Do you understand? Yeah. I hope this blesses you. And once again, I want to thank you for your time, for staying with us. And I think that the Career 360 team will take it up from here. God bless you. Thank you for your audience. Please share the video to bless others and let's grow together. All right. On behalf of myself, my team, I also want to extend our appreciation to the Career 360 team and to my sister, MJ. God bless you for all you do for humanity. You will go fast, sis. See you soon.